2 October 2020, and today I want to reveal to you a story, a very sad story that happened in Victoria Falls, about 10 kilometers from Victoria Falls, at an area called Chisuma Business Center. So Zimbabwe National Army soldiers, 2 of them, were involved in a shooting which resulted in the death of 2 local villagers, and these 2 are Morgan Sibanda and Dubisani Mpofu. So the 2 were shot on Wednesday night, and they were pointed out in a tribal kind of situation by someone called Munyaradzi Mlaudzi, who was drinking with the 2 soldiers. And the reason why they were pointed out, according to the people who spoke to Gambakwe media, was that Munyaradzi said, these 2 Ndebele guys have been giving me a hard time, and the soldiers then obviously got involved, resulting in the death of these 2 soldiers. What is very sad about this situation is that the Zimbabwe National Army and the police then forced the local villagers to lie that the 2 villagers who were killed, or the deceased, were trying to disarm the soldiers. So this is very, very sad, because the truth is actually that these are 2 innocent people who were killed in cold blood, and 7 shots were fired. 3 that hit Morgan Sibanda, and 3 that hit Dumisani Mpofu. Then another shot, my understanding is that it hit the tires of a car of one of the villagers. And after that, the soldiers and Munyaradzi Mlaudzi, they then jumped into their car and drove towards Victoria Falls. It is lucky that they were arrested on the way, but as it is right now, the situation is that Mlaudzi has not been seen ever since. He's not been back at the village. In fact, his house was burnt last night. So I think I'll be able to show you the picture of Mlaudzi's house. The local villagers are very, very angry. So that is Mlaudzi's house, Munyaradzi Mlaudzi. It was burnt last night by the villagers who were angry. They've written a petition. They want Munyaradzi Mlaudzi to leave the village. They don't want him back because of this tribal incident. They also want the 2 soldiers to leave. They don't want the soldiers in the village. The soldiers have been camped at a school called Chisuma Primary School, and they have been doing acts of indiscipline, including taking young schoolgirls from the area and taking them to sleep with them there at the primary school where they are camped. So this is what the local villagers told Gambakwe media. And I want to go back and show you the picture of Munya Mlaudzi. I hope you'll be able to see it. It's quite small because obviously of the kind of resolution we have here. But this is Munyaradzi Mlaudzi. He was drinking with the soldiers at Chisuma Business Center, and it was at night. The soldiers were not wearing army uniforms. They were in civilian clothing, and 4, including the 2 deceased people, were sitting outside. So Munyaradzi obviously pointed out to the soldiers that these guys are giving me trouble. These Ndebele guys are giving me problems. And when the two deceased were now walking home, and you see that I've put a picture of one of the deceased here, and we've obviously covered the face so that you can't see it. When they were walking home, the soldiers ran to their base and dressed up in their military uniforms. They then got armed. They armed themselves and they ran back, followed the group of 4 that were walking home, and without saying a word, they shot these 2. Of course, the other 2 managed to escape, which to me is not justifiable at all. And as we speak, funeral arrangements are now underway in that village. They're preparing to bury these 2 that is Morgan Sibanda and Dumisani Mpofu. They are preparing for the burial. And the police have issued a statement to say that two wanted to disarm the police. And as I said, this is not correct. So I think the deployment of soldiers is causing problems because the soldiers lack discipline. They're alienating the local communities. And especially when they get involved in this kind of tribal and personal fights, it creates problems, and it could end up creating even more tension in the communities or against the soldiers themselves. So this is what I wanted to say. This story was also published by my brother Zenzele Ndebele at site. And if you go to site, you'll see that he says that the soldiers were being disarmed, and which of course is not correct. And as I've said to you, I spoke to the villagers and they said it was a tribal fight. Basically, the soldiers got involved in a tribal confrontation with the local villagers after being pointed out by someone who is staying in the village. And they want that man, Myaradzi Mlaudzi, to leave. They also want the two soldiers to leave. They want more discipline. In fact, they don't want the soldiers at all in that area because there's no smuggling going on as far as they're concerned. They say that Chisuma Business Center is close to a place where there's rafting by tourists from the Zambezi River. So tourists dock in that area when they are rafting. So there's actually no smuggling going on there, and there's no need for soldiers to be deployed in that area at all. So this is the situation. 2 villagers dead because of a tribal involvement of Zimbabwe National Army soldiers in a tribal dispute. So someone did not like these 2 guys, pointed them out to the soldiers, and they got shot in cold blood. And not the business of soldiers to be doing that at all. Very, very sad situation. And my understanding is that the burial is going to be there very soon. The bodies are still at Victoria Falls. Right. Thank you very much for watching. If you're watching this on WhatsApp, send it to as many people as possible. If you're watching this on YouTube and Facebook, please like, comment, and share.